Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. You know, when that list came out, I believe in July. I could be wrong. Around that time. I wonder, like, before even I share with the world my points on the pound for pound list, how do they decide this arrangement of fighters? What's the matrix?
Good question.
Is it risk factor? Is it record? Is it how many fights the year they fought? I wonder what the rubric or the metric that they use. Because personally, I respect the fighters that are top 5, top 10. But why isn't Bud Crawford number 1?
I think Bud himself said that Usyk was number 1.
If I look at the record, I'll put Bud 1 over Usyk. If I look at the risk factor, I'll put Bud 1 over Usyk. If I look at seats, butts to seats, I'll put Bud Crawford number 1. Not over Usyk, not over Canelo though. Over Usyk.
Where's Canelo ranked?
I think Canelo's 4. Canelo's 4, but it's 3. Anyways, 2, and Usyk is 1.
Yeah, you can't reward just at some point. Like at some point, we acknowledge that you're a great fighter, and we acknowledge that you unified the belts. We acknowledge your resume, but at some point, it's like, yeah.
Do you think Shakur Stevenson should be number 8 in that list? Let's be honest. We're using all these criteria and categories of great fighters, undefeated. But in that pound for pound list, and I'll go through that list here. Let me run through that list quick. We have Usyk number 1, no way number 2. We have
I no longer know how to feel about Shakur Stevenson. I don't know how to feel about it.
We have Canelo Alvarez number 4. We have Beterbiev number 5. We have Bivol number 6. We have Tank number 7, and then we have Shakur Stevenson number 8. We have Jesse Rodriguez number 9, and when we have David Benavidez number 10. David Haney was not in the top 10. Who else? Who else was left out? A couple of people, but anyway,
I can't put Shakur. No,
you cannot put him in. Is that a wrong placement for Shakur? Is he a number 10 pound for pound?
So Benavidez is higher, obviously, for me because
I agree.
He's number 1 contender in the super middleweight. Okay, we know that, and then he's moving up to 175. So he's doing it across weight classes at a high clip. That's how I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Which is why, yes, by that measure, Terrence Crawford probably should be number 1 because he's done it across multiple weight classes.
Okay. Another person, Jesse Rodriguez, right? Respect.
Yes.
WBC respect.
Yes.
Would you sneak Boots in there over him?
Over Shakur?
Jesse or Shakur?
Dang, at this point, that's tough because did Boots have any belts at 140? Just going off the eye test, I would. Off the eye test alone, I put Boots in there over Shakur.
How about Mbili?
He does.
Mbili holds 2 belts, right? Or 1. I think it's WBO. I forgot what Mbili holds, but there are a couple of champions in there that are busy.
See, and at one point, I'd have the Charlo in there because he unified. So, I mean, at one point I'd have him in there because he beat other people in front of him.
I think I'll still keep Shakur in there, but I'll put Shakur at 10. I'll put Shakur at 10. I'll move David to. I'll put David to. I'll put David at 6. I'll move Bivol to 8, and I'll move Tank to 5.
I would like to see the rematch at 68. I would like to see him rematch Canelo at 68. Bivol. You know?
And Canelo's placement at 4. Are you comfortable with Canelo being 4?
Yeah, for now. I mean, he's still a unified champion. He's going out there beating his hand-picked opponents.
Okay. I'll put Usyk at 4, personally. I'll put Usyk at 4. I'll put Bud at 1. I'll put Canelo at 2. I'll put Inoue at 3. And I'll put Usyk at 4. That's my ranking. Canelo is 2, Bud is 1 to me. But maybe Canelo sells a lot of pay-per-view. So Canelo 1 or 2, but Canelo, you're not.
Is that the metric though? What's the metric?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what pound for pound.
Pound for pound.
I'll put Canelo 1 or Bud. One of either of them.
You know who my GOAT is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my GOAT is Roy Jones. So pound for pound, he's the best boxer. Pound for pound. So I was a power lifter in high school, and I like to think that, you know, at the time it was like 130 something, but I could move weight I could move a lot of weight for how much that I weighed. So I was pound for pound. You know, there's some kind of conversion there. You feel me? So yeah, I think it's like the dunk contest, right? The smaller dunkers have a better effect.
Yeah.
On their dunks.
I hear you. You know, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Do Bivol and Beterbiev, do they deserve that 5 and 6?
Yeah, just because of what they've been able to do independently.
But I don't know what the numbers are, but what butts to the seats. We're not talking about skill here. I mean, there's a lot of skill people who will never make this list, right? Butts to the seats, stock quality, pay-per-view, and I'm using the wrong metric. I don't know. I'm just using from what's here, what I feel and what I see, and what I see in these boxing social media streets of who they're really watching and who they think is pound for pound, you know. And I know it's not a popularity contest.
I pay a lot of attention to that division, right? So like a while back, I was talking about 68 heavy. I also pay attention to 75 heavy. And I've seen the guys that step in the ring with them that are better athletes. And I just watch what they do to them and watch how they demolish and take their soul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they deserve those rankings, in my opinion.
Okay. Do you think Haney deserves a look?
You know what?
Ryan Garcia lost
because of he's taking a bad rap because of recency bias, but I think Haney does deserve a look just on the resume. Haney's got a resume, so yes, you can't deny the resume. Now, and one loss doesn't erase all of that.
Well, I just thought that was a good conversation point to talk about these lists and how they're put together and who puts these lists together, first of all, and how does that affect the fighters when it comes to earnings, when it comes to who is the A side and all of
negotiations.
Wow, yeah. talking to your promoters, and
do they look at Instagram followers?
I wouldn't be surprised. There has to be popularity in this. There has to be a level on the criteria on who is the universal face, like it has to, because pound for pound is not the weight. It's just, if I put you here and I put you there, you're both champions. Who's the big kahuna? Who's the big guy? Who is?
Here's it's kind of hypothetical, but if you take judge it like this: if you take a Canelo and you take a Crawford and you have them fight at a catch weight.
I wanted to see that.
It's still possible.
Yeah.
People say things, right? People say things all the time. There's a lot of chatter on the internet, and then a couple months later, they spun the block on it. So